Welcome to Mowu. Good boy. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like this. We're going to keep on this one. We've got 3 visits. We have Explosive Vegetation, Rancor, Courage and Crisis, and Weirding Wood, which is, yeah, kind of like it. So let's go ahead and actually we're on the play, which is really nice. So let's get, Mowu pop back up. Let's go Forest, and then anything else. We're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we're playing Mowu, Loyal Companion, and very good boy. And also, if you're looking down at the art in the bottom left corner, that is my new dog named Sturgill. So I figured it'd be fun to kind of build a deck around the new dog. And Mowu came out, and I was like, well, that is just absolutely perfect. So let's pass the turn back over to ourselves. Let's go for 3, not pass it back to ourselves, but kick it back over to our turn. And shout out to our opponent for the beautiful basic. I love the Mirage basics. Very good looking planes. So we go Forest, and with 3 visits, we're going to go for that. Grab ourselves a basic forest, put that on the battlefield untapped, and then pass the turn over to our opponent. So we are playing Mowu, good boy, Trample, Vigilance. If one or more +1 counters would be put on a good boy, that many +1 counters I'm put on a good boy instead. Playing against Teysa Karlov, official. Oh, look at that mountain too. I mean that swamp. Opponent's got some good basics over there. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Then creature tokens you control have vigilance and lifelink. We're going to see Karlov of the Ghost Council come down, which, you know, thankfully they don't have a ton of lifelink right now, but with Teysa on the battlefield, we do have to watch out for that. So let's go Forest, and I think at this point, yeah, you know, if they've got spot removal, they've got spot removal. I really like getting down Good Boy, and we'll get down Good Boy and then put on Rancor. And then next turn we'll try to go for Ring and then Courage and Crisis. I think that'll be pretty good. So anything else, let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to buy some doggy treats to feed Mowu because he's a good boy, be sure to have MTGOTraders. They've got all the sort of doggy treats you need, whether it's Rancor, Courage and Crisis, or Weirding Wood. All the good doggy treats that are making Mowu a very happy boy are over at MTGOTraders.com. And also, shout out to inkgaming.com. Use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off of your order. Get some cool playmats. So I think we can go Explosive Vegetation. That'll really open us up on mana. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. So 1, 2, 3, and then that puts us in a really good spot. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to go Explosive Vegetation. We're going to put 2 basics onto the battlefield, and that's just really going to help us make sure that we can end up with a really nice Mowu. And make sure he's a really good boy, too. And we don't want to swing into this. It's going to be a Doom Traveler Spirit token, so we're just going to leave Mowu back and then pass the turn. That's going to put us on Ring next turn. We can go for Rancor. We can also go for Solidarity of Heroes. Solidarity of Heroes is such a good card in a Voltron deck like this, so if we can set up that extra strive cost, or at least kind of get a bunch of those counters going, then we certainly want to go for that. But yeah, check out inkgaming.com. You can click on the link down in the description below to apply that coupon, or go to the website, type in Jolt539 in the search bar. You can see some of the cool playmat designs that I've put out there. There's a Church of Athreos playmat. There's a Scry the Scurry playmat. There's a Ravnica Masser zombie playmat, which is pretty cool if you want to see that. And also, last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. And get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits and help the channel out at the same time. If you can't, hey, no worries at all. Just tell somebody about the channel. I would certainly appreciate that. Now, it is officially good boy time. Let's have some fun. So we run into Nykthos, which is good. You know, we don't have a land to get down for the turn, but it also gets a lot better as we start to get a lot of these enchantments down. So let's start to get some of this. Yeah, I think I like that. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Let's go Weirding Wood on this last untapped forest. That's going to allow us to kind of turn it into a Soul Ring. We're going to get that Clue token too. Let's put the Rancor on Good Boy. That's going to make it a 5/3. And I think we just straight up just go for... Yeah, I kind of like doing that. So that's going to put us at 1, 2, 3. So we can tap down 3 mana. And then... Yeah, I was trying to figure out if we can get enough mana going. But let's go Courage and Crisis on Mowu. Next turn, we'll be able to get some a little bit better devotion going with the Shrine to Nyx. So we're going to go for Courage and Crisis, and then we're going to proliferate. Oh yeah, add those counters. Yes, do choose that. All right, click done. That's going to make it a 9-7. With them being at a 2-2 and a 2-4, I think we just go ahead and push in on this one. So let's go ahead and go for that. Swinging with a 9-7, Trample and Vigilance is always a good thing to have on a Voltron commander, and especially when they're a good boy. So we're going to swing it for a 9-7, knock them down to a 21, and that will put us on the board for 9 total commander damage. Anything else, pass it over to our opponent. So this deck right here, it's pretty fun. This is actually the first time that I'm playing with it, and so if I miss a couple different interactions, that's why. But as far as the core concept of this deck, it's just getting down Mowu, get down something like Ranker, use some really nice counter spells, something like Courage and Crisis, Solidarity of Heroes, just really start to amplify those counters on Mowu. And, and especially in 1 versus 1 commander, this is a really good commander to build Voltron. It's just really hard for your opponent to stop that good boy from coming across. I mean, that's some pretty strong... pretty strong doggy power over there. So let's go Forest. And we have Ring, which is going to give us a +1 counter. It already has Trample. Let's go and crack a Clue token, because if we can get some sort of amplifying effect, I like going for that, or especially if we can kind of amplify the, Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we've got 7 total mana right now. Yeah, I think we can still end up going for Solidarity of Heroes. So yeah, that'll be good. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to go Sword of Fire and Ice onto Mowu. It's going to be an 11-9. Let's go and push in. And this is one of those, when you're building a Voltron deck, it always makes me laugh thinking about Mowu just like somehow equipping a Sword of Fire and Ice onto him as he swings across. So depending on how they block, we still got protection, and we also do have Trample, so that's going to allow us to get that damage through. We can deal that damage with Sword of Fire and Ice also, and at the same time, once we go for the Solidarity of Heroes, and I think we want to, yeah, either way, it's going to be a click OK. So let's go Solidarity of Heroes on Mowu, and I think I did that right. I think we clicked on Mowu. Oh, that is a bummer. Okay, we clicked on Mowu on that. Okay, I don't know what happened. But anyway, we went for Solidarity of Heroes. And apparently we just didn't get those counters. It was red, but it looked like we had done it correctly. So, unfortunately, that happens sometimes. So we're going to get the Vindictive Vampire. And let's go for the Sword of Fire and Ice. We're going to have to put this on the stack. Deals 2 damage to any target. Now, they're going to gain life once we put this trigger on the stack. So what we might as well do is just go and send this damage up top to our opponent. Because, if these triggers were already on the stack, we could target Karlov of the Ghost Council. But unfortunately, they're going to get those triggers to resolve first before we get a chance to go for Sword of Fire and Ice. So, they're going to up with a couple Spirit tokens. But Mowu was definitely putting some work. And, that would have been 8 counters. And I think that would have been extra 4. That would have put us at maybe like 20 total commander damage. So with the Solidarity of Heroes, I'm not entirely sure what happened, because with the Sword of Fire and Ice, protection from red and blue, yeah, I don't know. It must have just been a misclick on that, so it's a little bit of a downside. But you can definitely see this is pretty much what the deck wants to do. Get down Mowu, get down something like Ranker. And even like Ranker, even though Mowu already has Trample, the fact that that +2/+0 for just 1 green mana is such a nice effect to have. And it just makes it really hard for your opponents to do anything. So, just like I was about to say, you get it back to your hand if something happens to Mowu. So, that's always good. Run into Overgrowth. And so they did get rid of our good boy, so we're going to try to get him back on the battlefield. Rogue's Passage is definitely going to be a good option for us. Now here's the downside. Once they get this lifelink going with Karlov, that's going to be really hard. Because that's going to be some really, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let's go for Mowu. Right now we only have 1 Devotion with Weirding. So let's go Mowu. That's going to be 6 total mana. So we're going to have Mowu enter the battlefield. Let's go Ranker on Mowu. And I think for the last thing, what we'll end up doing is we've got 3 mana. Actually, yeah, if we go for Ring, I kind of like that. So we go Ring, and we can use that last piece of mana, the colorless mana, put Ring onto Mowu, and that's going to give us an additional +1 counter, then hopefully allow us to kind of push past our opponent. So we're going to go for Ring, put Ring on Mowu, and then anything else, pass turn over to our opponent. So, but yeah, like I mentioned, running some stuff like Solidarity of Heroes, that is a very good card in a +1 counter Voltron deck. I don't know what happened, but you can see where had we been able to double the counters last turn, that would have been a really nice swinging in our opponent. And outside of that, we're running just kind of like almost like a really nice Voltron pack, not Voltron, but a really nice Enchantress package in here. We have the 3 or 4 different Voltron pieces in here. the Enchantress pieces that allow us to start drawing some card draw. And, especially, you can see where if we had a couple different Enchantress pieces down, we start casting something like Rancor, Weirding Wood, and start drawing a lot of cards. It's really going to help us, end up with a really nice, just basically you just want to have as much stuff to stick onto Mowu as possible, and make sure that big beefy dog is going to be able to close it out. But it looks like our opponent might have a, so with the Karlov 6, yeah, so they have to remove all of those counters to get rid of Mowu again. And we draw into Greater Good. So let's see if we can get Greater Good to stick. I would definitely enjoy that. 1, 2, 3. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. More than likely, we're going to see Karlov be activated before Greater Good resolves, because with Greater Good, that would allow us to draw 7 cards. So we're probably going to see, yeah. Don't blame him on that one. All right, so they're going to go for that. That's going to put Rancor back into our hand. We'll at least get down Greater Good, and that'll allow us to, next turn they go for the Karlov activation. We can at least, sacrifice it in response. So at this point, we've got 1, 2, 3. We're only looking at 3 total devotion. So let's go Overgrowth on Forest. It's going to be 1, 2. And that'll put us at 1, 2, 3, 4, and that'll put us at 5 now. We do get ahead on mana, but that's not going to be enough to get down our good boy. So let's just go and pass the turn to our opponent. We are playing mono green, so if we were playing any other color, being able to deal with Karlov, but when you have Karlov on the battlefield and you just have any sort of lifelink, with you having Karlov on the battlefield, Karlov is a very, very hard card to deal with sometimes, and so that's a little bit of a downside. So thankfully we do have Greater Good, because let's say that we go for Ring, we go for Sword of Fire and Ice, we're getting some extra mana down. Hopefully we can kind of stop a few of those extra counters and really kind of force the loyal Mr. Mowu himself. Now, once we sacrifice Mowu and get some good card draw, then we can kind of start to roll out another threat. We're not running a ton of creatures in here, but a lot of them, the creatures in here are utility creatures. But if we can find some of those utility creatures, that's just going to really help us kind of diversify our attack on our opponent's life total. That's basically what we're going for. And then opponent's going to go for Pond of Ulamog and Phyrexian Altar, which is going to be a really nice thing to see for Teysa on that side of the battlefield. All right, so we run into, ooh, there we go. That canopy cover is exactly what we needed to see. So let's go Mowu. And this is such a good card, especially in Commander. So let's go Mr. Mowu. We're going to have Mowu enter the battlefield. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are sitting at 5 devotion. Let's go green devotion. That's going to be 1, 2. Let's go canopy cover on Mowu. And then let's go for Rancor onto Mowu. We're going to go Ring onto Mowu. And I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. So if I pronounce it wrong for this entire video, I do apologize. But it is what it is. All right, so we're going to go for one more last bit of mana. And that was just perfect, the way all that mana sequenced out. Make ourselves a 7/5 Mowu. And then anything else we're going to go past turn. Only thing that would make this better is if we had any sort of haste option. But look at that. That's a good boy right there. We got canopy cover on there. Now, if you're building Voltron, if you haven't built a Voltron deck and you're playing a green Voltron, canopy cover is such a good card. If you're playing an Enchantress Voltron, you can enchant a creature can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. Now, that does put it to where they can block with spirit tokens. But a lot of the time, that's more than enough to kind of swing past your opponent. And it can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control, which really kind of helps you also push your Voltron game plan, because there's a lot of times where if you give your creature Shroud, you can't target them with things anymore like that. And there's not a ton of hexproof enchantments out there. So, well, there's Alpha Authority, but there's a few other things out there. But with Canopy Cover, it basically gives you protection from your opponent, and at the same time allows you to make sure you can feed as many treats to your good boy to try to close the game out. All right, so we have Karlov and the double spirit swinging across. That's going to be 8, and that will put us down to 8 and put us at still 2 total commander damage. But at this point right now, with the Rogue's Passage, if we make it unblockable, they basically need to have like some sort of board wipe to stop our good boy. And if something does happen like that, we still have at least Greater Good as an assurance policy to draw 7 cards. So let's see what they have to finish the turn up. Okay, opponent's going to go for Blood Artist with... They do have some... Oh, let's see. So they've got a sack Outland Phyrexian Altar. So they sack... Ooh, oh, no. Okay, so let's see. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be 5 triggers, 6. So we can still dodge it. So let's go Greater Good on Mowu. Oh, that's a bummer. All right, so we're going to sacrifice Mowu. Ranker's going to go back to our hand. We're going to draw 7 cards. Then we need to discard 3 cards. So I think at this point we'll get rid of Utopia Sprawl. Ooh, and the Swiftfoot Boots, that is a wonderful draw because we can swing it with Gear Hulk really quick. We're definitely going to hold on to Enchantress. Evolution Sage is a really nice option. So I think at this point we get rid of Forest. Yeah, and I kind of like holding on to Enchantress because that's just going to give us some really nice repeated card draw. Here's the issue. Do we want to go for Evolution Sage? If we're getting rid of the land, yeah, I think we can get rid of Evolution Sage at this point right now. So this is a nice way to kind of refuel our hand. So they're going to destroy all those creatures. That should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I forgot about the Teysa double amplify effect. Oh, good game to our opponent. They're going to get it on this one. You can definitely see, yeah, that's... I should have known. I should have remembered better with Teysa going for that activated ability. But yeah, long story short, our opponent's gonna be able to close it out with Blood Artist triggers. We're going. I've been on the other. We've done this a lot of times, so it's kind of nice to be on the other end. But you can definitely get a really good picture of what we're trying to do with Mr. Mowu, good boy. We're gonna always yield to those Blood Artist triggers. This is a great showing of what we're trying to do. You know, get down Mr. Good Boy, get down something like Sword of Fire and Ice. You know, if we had something like Sword of Feast and Famine, that would have been a really good option for us. And just let's say that we had a Growth Enchantress a little bit earlier in the game. We could have gone for stuff like Overgrowth, Weirding Wood, Greater Good, just having that nice repeated card draw, and at the same time, the fact that your Voltron commander has Trample and Vigilance, that is such a good thing to have because it allows you to really build up a nice big boy, and then swing in, deal some damage to your opponent, and just leave them back on defense. So that's a good option. And then something like Ranker, each time that Ranker goes back to the graveyard, comes back to your hand, recats it with the Growth Enchantress. So you're basically just creating this really nice loop of value between +1 counters and Gear Hulk, some Evolution Sage Proliferate, and some Enchantress card draw. Really fun deck to play. If you got the cards, you should definitely sleeve it up and have some fun. But good game to our opponent. It's always nice to get taken out by Blood Artists in the Church of Athreus. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.